Christen Press and Tobin Heath, and also a little bit of Manchester United over in the WSL. So Manchester United announced earlier this week that Christen Press and Tobin Heath are departing the club, and I'm really curious to see what's going to be next for them. So basically, for those of you who might not know, Tobin Heath and Christen Press, the next logical, let me rephrase this. Christen Press and Tobin Heath, hypothetically, they could sign for another team in the WSL, they could maybe go to another league in another country, or they could return to the NWSL. What do I think is the most likely of the three? I think that it is most likely they'll return to the NWSL post-Olympics. Do I know that for sure? Absolutely not. They haven't said anything as far as I know about that, and they probably won't because they're focused on the Olympics this summer. Having said that, since I think that the NWSL is the most likely landing spot for them, their players' rights are belonging currently to Racing Louisville. For those of you who don't know what that is, players' rights are essentially a team's rights in order to sign a player to a contract. So, for example, say that me and my brother Bob say we have players' training rights, and say I myself as Bryce, I own the rights to sign Christen Press and Tobin Heath. So that means that Bob, my brother Bob, can't sign Christen Press and Tobin Heath to a contract because I have that right. However, I could sell those playing rights to Bob for a fee if I want to, and he could sign Christen Press and Tobin Heath to a contract if he wanted to, and then I would no longer be able to do that. So the reason why I bring that up is, one, just to kind of educate everybody on how the NWSL kind of works, and two, to exercise the possibility that Christen Press and Tobin Heath, although their playing rights belong to Racing Louisville right now, they might not play for Racing Louisville. They might not want to. I'm curious to see what Racing Louisville is going to do with their playing rights. Are they going to try to approach them to sign them to multi-year contracts? Are they going to trade away those rights for allocation money, which is just a ton of money to sign other players? I really, truly don't know. Do I really see them playing in Racing Louisville? Time will tell. Racing Louisville's been playing pretty well recently, and I think they could certainly benefit from Tobin Heath and Christen Press. Do they want to play with Racing Louisville? No one really knows. I think that a lot of people assume that they don't, but like I said, I don't think they've come out and explicitly said that they don't want to play for Racing Louisville. So until trades, negotiations, or media interactions happen, I guess we'll never truly know. My theory is that they'll go back to the NWSL and the trading rights will be traded from Racing Louisville to another team at some point, whether it be the new LAFC, whether it be the San Diego franchise that's coming up, whether it be Portland, whether it be Seattle, who knows? I guess we'll have to stay tuned and find out. But I'm really curious to see post-Olympics what those two are going to do for their playing careers going forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think. Where do you think Christen Press and Tobin Heath will go? Will you miss them at Manchester United? Me, as a Man United fan, I certainly will. But I want to know what you think. Feel free to jump down in the comments below and let me know your thoughts. All right, and one other little footnote I want to say as an aside for Tobin Heath and Christen Press leaving Manchester United is the fact that Man United have lost a lot of players and a coach in this transfer window. And this all kind of started with the departure of Casey Stoney months ago. For those of you who don't know, I made a small video about that on my channel, just talking about how Casey Stoney left the club due to lack of resources and things along those nature, which is a really big bummer to hear because I think Man United are really going to kick themselves in the butt someday because Casey Stoney, I think, is one of the most brilliant minds in the WSL today, and that she has really brought that team literally from inception to near champions and Champions League qualifiers in just 2 seasons. And I think they're really going to miss Casey Stoney for that, and I think that they're going to regret not pooling more resources to keep their players healthy because now I think 5 other players have left in total for Manchester United this offseason, including Christen Press, Tobin Heath, and also adding to that list, Jess Sigsworth, Amy Turner. Amy Turner is now going over to the Orlando Pride in the NWSL, which I'm excited about, but that's neither here nor there. And then Jane Ross. And I'm really curious to see what Manchester United are going to look like next season for the WSL. I think they're going to be hurting a little bit. Do they still have a ton of talent on their team? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Ella Toone is going to be a powerhouse for years to come. Millie Turner, I'm a really big fan of. Lauren James, I'm a really big fan of if she wants to stay with Manchester United. But I'm just curious to see what moves they're going to make in the offseason, knowing Manchester United and their ownership group, which is the Glazer family. I don't think they'll sign very many people. That's just how they roll, and it sucks as a fan, but, you know, there we have it. And I guess we'll just have to stay tuned and find out. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry if you're not a Man United fan and that bored you, but if you are a Man United fan, I want to know what you make of a lot of players leaving the club this offseason. Whatever you think, feel free to jump down in the comments below and let me know whatever your thoughts are.